Well, good morning and welcome to day 67. Speaking to you this morning after the announcement by Boris Johnson last night, where he's talking about easing some of the lockdown restrictions. And I think what's interesting for me is the number of different reactions that I've seen from different people. You're going to hear in a minute from Suzanne, and she's going to talk to you about her reaction and how it feels, certainly in terms of school going back and children, and how they're going to sort of come out of lockdown. But I think from a business point of view, there was very little difference in the announcement yesterday. If you look at it, the advice was very similar to the advice that we've been following all along, which is, if you can work from home, then work from home. If you can't, and you're not in one of those industries that has specifically been shut down, then you should go to work, but practice social distancing where you can. So I don't think from a business point of view there was much difference yesterday. I think the key one will be what happens this week with the Chancellor when he talks about how he's going to deal with the tapering of the furlough scheme. That's going to be an interesting one to look at. But I think what caught my attention and just struck me was the different reactions that people have had towards Boris's speech. Personally, I thought the speech was very good. I thought he was quite clear, and I thought he properly articulated the challenges he's got in trying to lift the lockdown. He gave some indication of some of the things that were coming up, and if certain targets were achieved, then those would be lifted. But he was never going to sit there and say, okay, on July the 6th we're going to let pubs open or something like that, because that's such a long way away. An awful lot could change between now and then. So I thought his speech was quite good, but I did pick up a lot of people who were frustrated, annoyed or whatever about the vagueness in the speech. And I think looking at different people's reactions, it just kind of, I don't know, it's worth considering, as a leader of a business, and trying to provide a clear and consistent message. It's very difficult to get that right, and what works for some people doesn't work for others. And if you're open and honest, and try and communicate early, and let people ask questions, then you are going to be talking about things that are unknown at that point, and a certain level of vagueness can be expected when you're dealing with difficult, complex systems and trying to think about what happens in the future. So I think what I took from it was just that variety of different reactions, and I'm certainly going to reflect on what that means to me as a business leader, and thinking about how something that I can say quite clearly, or at least in my mind I said it quite clearly, especially if I'm saying I don't know the answer to that yet, how that can be interpreted by other people, because there is a wide range of emotions and a wide range of reactions to yesterday's speech. So anyway, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. The weather was amazing, wasn't it? It was really good. It was my wife's birthday over the weekend as well, so we had a party for her, me and our two children, a couple of bottles of red wine, and really thoroughly enjoyed ourselves in this kind of unique sort of COVID way that we do. So I hope you're keeping strong, hope you're keeping safe, and I look forward to catching up with you this week. We've got a number of things to talk about this week, including an interesting one tomorrow that I'm going to talk about, in terms of the number of clues that you can see just in this video alone, that might help you guess what my password is. So talk to you tomorrow. Cheers, bye-bye.
Hi everyone, so today is Monday. It's the day after Boris Johnson made his speech about how we are going to be coming out of lockdown gradually. I think there's been a lot of mixed reactions to that speech, certainly amongst my own group of friends and on various sort of parenting groups I'm part of on Facebook. I think the biggest thing for me was the announcement about the potential for years reception, year 1 and year 6 to go back to school from the beginning of June. Now I know this is only a could at this stage, but for me, having one of my children in year 1, it feels too early, if I'm brutally honest. I don't feel like that in 3 weeks' time we're going to suddenly have a handle on this. And, how do you expect 5 and 6 year olds to social distance? How's it going to work? Perhaps it'll be on a rotation system. perhaps it'll only be 1 or 2 days a week. I don't know. But the other factor that I need to consider, or we need to consider as a family, is that my husband has MS. He very recently had a very bad relapse, and although he's on his way back to health now, his immune system is still compromised. So actually for me, I don't know if I feel safe sending my son back. It almost feels like those years are being sent back as a bit of a test to see how it could work. I don't know, if I'm honest. Let's see what the briefings say later on today. But it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. That's my son's toast just popping up. Be interesting to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.